All right, we have returned, and it is now time to start cooking some healthy pasta. All right, so what do I have here? I got a solid bowl of veggies here, which got 3 different color peppers because I like my stuff. You see the color here. I like to have color. We got our onion. We got our garlic, right? Onion, garlic. We got those things sitting over here. All organic, 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 right? So I got different glass bowls to put different things in. We're going to have a dry bowl, and then we're going to have some peppers, and then we're going to have some onions, broccoli over there, mushrooms over here. And garlic kind of stands alone because we're going to infuse that into the olive oil that we put in the pan. All right, so let's get to it, right? First thing I'm going to start with is seasoning base for the sauce, which is going to be some paprika. All right, got this big bag from an Indian store. Lasts for quite a while. You know, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna crush some of these little pebbles up. I don't like to have, you know, chunks of stuff inside of my bowl if I can do a little something about it. So we're gonna put some, I got some chunks in there anyway. That's all right, we'll smash that up later. So let's get some paprika in the mix. Plenty of that. Cool. Le flame. All right. Let's get some of that in there. Not too much, unless you want to be burning up a little bit. All right, put a little bit of that in there. Le flambe, like more flame. Pat a little cayenne pepper in there. All right. So we spiced up, more color, anti-inflammatory. Get some of this turmeric in here. Not a lot of that, but let's get some of that in there. All right. So now we got some more pigment, yellow coloring in there. Cool. And we're gonna move on to next with some onion. Now, even though we got an onion, I'm using a ground onion, the ground onion spice too, because it's good to use, I learned from a chef, it's good to use a little bit of the dry and a little bit of the natural or wet ingredient. Adds a little bit to the flambe, a little bit to the spice, but regular pepper. Crack a little of that in there. I like to have a cracker, you know, something that releases the aromatics, right? Sea salt of the Himalayan kind. Don't need too much of that. Sodium comes natural in a lot of our foods. I know it helps kick up the taste a little bit, so for now, I'm put a little bit of sea salt in there, and later on, I add a little more. Now here's our dry Italian seasoning. So let's get some of that in there. Italian seasoning. All right, so we got some of the dry Italian seasoning in there. All right, we got that. Shake and bake a little, right? Infuse some flavors together. Now let's move on to the wet ingredients. Get your parsley game on. We got the live parsley. Chop some of this up in there. Pinch together and go. We're going to put some of this in here because we're going to be using more later on. Let's put that in there. Toss that aside. We have ourselves, break off a twig here. Right? Ooh, smell that. I love the smell of basil. It smells good. Basil. Let's get some leaves off here. So we'll have some of that. I like the smell of that. If there were a smell for tea, it would be this. Let's just chew a little bit of that. Some aromatics in the body. Pinch and roll it up, right? Down. Cut, cut, cut. All right. Basil in there. Swing on over to the oregano. We can get ourselves some oregano leaves here. Let's put that back in there. Let's break that off. Smell oregano. Let's tap that. Matter of fact, instead of me showing you that part, I'll show you some actual leaves of oregano, right? Let's get some focus going. Show them what the actual oregano looks like. All right, so we got some oregano popping. Let's get some leaves broken off there. Many big huskies as we can. All right, oregano. We rocking. Remember, now we're doing the live aromatic herbs, and get the aromatics going. Taste a couple of those. Pinch these up and cut up some of this oregano. And this is the amount that will first go into the sauce when I start making the sauce. Oregano. Throw that in there. Yeah. You get like a little knife here and start, get a little focus on that. Start turning these things into one another. And these guys are going to work themselves out while I prepare the other things that I have to cut. Because remember, it's just a prep for what needs to go into the sauce later on. Focus, yeah. We have our dusting and our flouring complete. Set that off to the side. Now, which one of these bad boys do I want to get cracking next? Let's clear those up. I'm going to do the onion last. Because onions infuse whatever's going on in the environment. Onions will draw in the fumes and the things sitting in the air. So if you can, you want to definitely go for the onions last. Let's start with some color. Let's get this yellow pepper cracking. All right. Slice off the top. Flour. This part right here, we're gonna pull. We're gonna break that part out. Focus. Yep, there we go. We're gonna pull, all right? Break that out. Shake out the other seeds. Unless you're a grower, of course, then you might want to use those seeds. If we do that, we just look to these lines inside of here, and we do our best to chop alongside the lines. That's how I like to do it. All right. I'll cut that inside area off so I can get a pretty even cut. I like to get these edge parts off. You don't have to, it's just something that I prefer to do. Like everything to have pretty neat cut if possible, so take that off. All right, discard. And you cut depending on the size you want your pieces to be in the pasta sauce, and for me, they're about right there. That down, chop, yep. Because this is a pasta, right? You don't want everything minced. Might not be the greatest taste if everything is minced. That in there. All right, Red boy next. And begin cutting at the seams. All right, same size pieces as the other one. Nothing wrong with having plenty of color. So I like my food to taste as good as it looks. Everything counts. Some of you guys just want to eat. Nothing wrong with that. For me, making that thing look pretty and tasting good is important to me. So for that reason, vibrant colors, the way you cook it keeps your color vibrant too. For instance, if you steam and lightly cook the green stuff, then you will have a very vibrant looking meal. We are full up. Technically, I could save the green if I want to, because I got plenty of green here already. So now we have the florets of the broccoli. So, put some of this over here, and let's just start making that do what it do. Cutting with a bit of curvature, you know, cut with a bit of curvature. And just make sure I cut these down into decent sized pieces too, because with broccoli, I mean, you wind up having chunks too husky. It can be quite annoying to eat. Discard stuff over here into the basin area. Let's get some mushrooms in the game here. Gets the slice going. Cut these down into decent sized pieces, which some of them already are. So I'm not going to touch them too much. Mushrooms, I learned from my boy KT, the Arc Degree. The gill side of a mushroom is little gills. Let me see if I can show it to you guys. Little gills, that little brown area right there. It's got kind of lines kind of going like that. Focus, there we go. All right, that gill side up, when the mushrooms are whole, you turn it gill side up towards the sun, and it concentrates the vitamin D level inside of the mushroom. Just a little something learned from the man KT, the Arc Degree. All right. We're gonna body those in there with the broccoli. You get a lot of people who, they're like, is it fulfilling? Is it fulfilling? A lot of them don't technically know what the term fulfilling is. A lot of them believes that the stomach has to be bulging and extended, and they have to feel like they stuffed themselves in order for the amount of food to be adequate. What they don't realize is they're really putting a taxing on their digestive system when they do that. Especially those who say, oh, I got the itis. It was good food. Food can be good and you don't have to have the itis. Itis means inflammation. You guys don't want to be running around inflamed. That's not good. And then you get mad one day, you get too sick, and you can never eat the foods that you supposedly like again, because the foods you love the most hurt you. So I want to do this. Garlic takes a little bit. Let's get the garlic going. Let's use our hand and run it around it to get rid of some of the skin. Eventually, these little pieces, cloves, start to fall out. How much do I want? Bold flavor. Give me 4 cloves. Now, knife down. and we crush. When you crush, get plenty of the meat out. Skin just falls right off. Give it a good smash. Then we're just going to mince on through here. For that reason, do it that way. Break that down. Because when you, see if I can get it to focus. Yep, when you do that, the skin just kind of comes right off there. Right? Mince even more. And what's going to happen is when we put our olive oil in the pan, this garlic is going to go in. So, got my parsley sitting off to the side for later on. Some of this other stuff out of my way. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to move this garlic off and out of the way until that's ready to get its part. Now, time to move on to the onion. Organic, of course. Take the sticker off. Cut it. Long way, and then we begin our slice mission. So get that top part off there and get this bottom part off here. And once we do that, I like to, if it doesn't come right off, just score it. Let's see if we can get a focus game here, right? Score it about right there. And once I score it about right there, now I can kind of feel in there, break off the edge block, you know, take that skin right off of there. All right. Now, the way I slice it the long way depends on how big I want the pieces. How big do I want the pieces? Pretty much equivalent to how I have the red pepper. So, about right there. Flip this bad boy. About right there. Put this big block over here. Punch the middle out so that I can get even chop. Slice this way, and then pretty much just go around it, getting the chunks the size you want them. Too much of this onion action, you know, eventually the tears are going to start flowing, which fortunately I'm good so far, although I can smell the onion. The aromatics are definitely kicking in. Large chunks of onion really give you a good flavor profile for the meal you're making. As you guys can see, preparation time takes quite a bit. Stuff the bowl. Just stuff it. So, with that being said, what do we have here? We got peppers. We got onions. We got seasonings. We got color. What we got over here? Let's get that up on there too. Yeah. So all that stuff sitting around there. We got all this stuff. We're looking good, baby. We're looking so good, we about ready to move ourselves over. After all this cutting, we ready to move ourselves over to the stove area to get our dish started. All right, we back. I got some olive oil spinning around in a medium low pan. We got the, hold up, focus for me. Need the focus, there we go. We got the Lucchini extra virgin olive oil popping inside the pan, right? Yeah. So we got that really good olive oil going in the pan right now. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to add some of this garlic over here in there. And what I'm going to do is, so that I can scoop it up, get me the big boy out. Get the big boy out so I can scoop it up and bring it on over. Right. Here we have it. It is. That's right. Little bit of dinner bell music going on for the cooking, right? Put that over there. It's here. I got a little sizzle going. Spin that around. Show that to you guys. Look at that. Yeah. I could smell the infusion. And next thing we're going to put in there is we're going to start putting some, I believe we're going to let's throw some onions in there next. Yep. And we throw those in there. We want to get it sweating. So right now, we got the garlic infusing into the oil. That's sitting there all pretty and even. Next, we're going to go into our onion bag, right? And we're going to get them things sweating. So, get them things sweating, baby. Get it popping. So we got a little coating there. A little sizzle going. There we go. Next, we're going to start adding peppers. Yes, sir. Shake that in. Get that infusing in there. I'm doing a very light saute because what I'm doing is I'm prepping it. I'm prepping everything to prepare for the inevitable dump into the sauce, which will heat it up even more and put things exactly where I want it. So next, we got the mushrooms and we got the broccoli, which I want the broccoli to have a pretty dark color to come in. All right. We got that in there. Bring in my boy Lucchini again to put a light coating of the olive oil on the top so we have enough to go around, right? And this will automatically infuse olive oil into the sauce, so I won't have to worry too much about that. So let's begin just tossing some color around. Look at them colors. And stir them. You know we already got that garlic in there, which I can smell infusing into everything. All right. And you know the saute pan will be quite full. You already know. A little tap, tap, taparoo. Now close up, and then we're going to seal off. Zoom, baby. Let's tighten that up right there. You guys can get a look at all that color in there. Shake, shake, shaky. And bam, cover. All right, we are back. Raise the lid. We have some color here now. Yep. Take a look at that baby there. So our broccoli's got some deep green color going on as we want. Because of that, we're pretty much close to where we want it, so we can add it to the actual sauce later on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer all of this stuff. Let me use it. All right, got all that out. Now we're going to move the fresh boy over here. Sit the top to the side. So now we're going to bring this boy over because we need to bring this water. Let's see, front. Run a check here. There we go. We're good. All right. This one over here, we need some water so we can get it popping with the pasta. So I got a bottle of spring water. It's only 79 cents. Just to ensure we're not using the crazy water that comes out of the sink over there. I like to use the freshest possible water. Discard. I think I'm gonna need still about a half liter more in that pot there over there. And then the rest could be for drinking. A little more. There we go. So we got 1.5 liters cracking. It's that 365 spring water. Yeah, it's in plastic. That's why I'm using it right away, so it doesn't sit around and weather. But if you can, you use glass, or you get you a really good water filter for your sink and you rock on from there. Now, what's the most common things that you use when you're about to boil pasta? Salt the water. That's what I do. And we bring old Lucchini over here and drop a little bit of oil into the water too. While that starts to heat up, and over here in the wings waiting is the bag of penne, which is going to go into the water when the water begins to boil. So we have things set and ready to go from earlier. Now, let's talk sauce. Let me get a little spoon here. The first thing I'm gonna put in here is something to add a little texture to the sauce, which is we're grabbing the crushed tomatoes here. So what I want to do is spin this around and hold it close so it doesn't fly away and splash up on me. So we got that. Put that over on the side. Tomato sauce. We got the tomato sauce can, right? I'm going to pour some of that in there. So we got the sauce popping. And I have 2 of everything, but what I'm going to start off by doing is get a butter knife over here. To add body to the sauce, you want to use tomato paste. This will help you thicken the sauce so you're not eating something that just looks like water on top of your noodles. What I'll do is spread it out and give it adequate room to melt down into the sauce. And I have a second one. You know, if you want it even thicker, no big deal. Now we know when we dump the veggies in here, the sauce will actually rise. It starts coming right off. Now we got 2 cans more. You want to really go in, get you a lot of sauce. All right, Well, let's do it. Let's get that in there. Same thing. More sauce, more thickener. Move this thickener to the corners. So as you can see, with the money spent, this sauce will clearly last for quite a few days. Unless you got multiple family members, then cost of the ingredients is the cost of your meal. So factor that in when you're planning on having a large family. It's not about necessarily healthy foods costing more. Depends on where you get the healthy foods from. You get things from your local area, then chances are the food is going to be much cheaper. And that's the catch. Foods that grow in your area, when it has to be shipped from faraway places, and the process of growing the food, meaning how long does it take, what conditions it has to be in, determines the price. And you can say even worse, foods that grow within a certain season, makes the situation even worse. And the food actually will go bad faster. So imagine if you owned a store, what you would have to do to keep enough profit coming in so you can keep supplying food to people time after time, right? That's what you got to factor in. So you want your food to be cheaper when it's healthier, which a lot of the green veggies, those already are. Green veggies are not expensive at all. That whole bag of kale that I had in the food videos that you saw, it's $3, and I can make probably, 4 or 5 smoothies over a three-day period if you want that many. The entire batch of kale, if you put it away correctly, can last up to a week. So you're talking $3 a week for the kale. The bananas will last about a week if you keep those out and you don't refrigerate them. If you refrigerate them, they'll go bad faster. So you have to start building your menu and account for time. What you want to do is get your economics in a position where you can always use the food that you buy the same day, because when it's fresh food, the moment it gets pulled off the vine of the tree, it starts to actually decay and lose nutrients or enzymes. Things start to degrade over time. So you want to get the cooking food off the vine as fast as possible. So truthfully, if you could have a day where you go to work, you go shop for what you want, cook it up the same day, that's the most ideal situation. When it's not, you have to get into preserving measures, and the number one preserving measure is freezing. And if you're still a meat eater, it's curing, which means you salt it so you can dehydrate it. When you dehydrate a thing, it can't go bad as fast, but it'll be a really nasty looking shell on the meat that you got to cut off when you're ready to actually use it. All right, so we're going to cover this sauce up because we want to get it to start going warm. The water will eventually start getting hot. Once this water starts getting hot, pasta goes in. The sauce starts to get a little heated. Then the seasoning mixture we made earlier, right? The seasoning mixture, that's going to start going in there, right? And then after the seasoning mixture goes in there, as it starts to heat up even more, we put the veggies in when the noodles are close to done. And the veggies will be nice and hot inside the sauce. The noodles will be coming out. When the noodles come out, we strain the noodles on the plate. Then we put the sauce on top, decorate, garnish, bam, we good to go. So that's how the whole thing works. All right, we flowing back in the kitchen. You see the steam starting to rise up on the actual water there. Check the water here. Yeah, it's got a decent hotness to it. So some people let it come to a roaring boil, but I'm ready to rock. So pasta down. We got that rocking. We're gonna break open this here. See what's going on. It's starting to pop, which is cool. Set this over on the side. Now, the spice mixture we made earlier, right? Oh, let me spin this way so y'all can see the spice mixture, right? We're going to start putting that in there. Yeah. Herbs and spices. Stir it in. Now you see the sauce has got a thickness to it. It's not a real watery based sauce. It'll stick to the pasta quite well. Bang him up. Use our fork. Stir this pasta in a little bit. And then, while we're waiting on the pasta, and we're waiting on the sauce to heat on up, we're going to let it do what it do and be right back. We all zoomed in here. Now, because it's usually popping and bubbling, you don't want to lift it right up, might pop and bubble on you. So I like to kind of dive down in a little bit, which I accidentally tilted this a little too much. Got some sauce on the inside of the rim where I don't want it. But it is what it is. Stir that. Got some additional herbs and spices right here to toss on in. Right, because we added the extra sauce. So get more of that in there. So we got that kicking up. Let me wipe this top down so it's not tearing things up on the outside. And what we're also ready to do is, this sauce is going to get really high in the pan, but we are now ready to add the veggies. All right, look at that there. Now we got a pretty full pan, so we're doing a really light stir here, because otherwise I'll have sauce everywhere, which I've done before. It can happen. And like I said, the veggies were cooked a little bit, but now we're finishing it out. Now we got plenty of goodness in there, chunkied out for you. And we're just waiting on the noodles now. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo. So there you guys have an incorporated sauce. Let it do what it do. We are back. It smells like cake in here because the pasta has ingredients kind of like cake in it. Now that it's cooked and ready, it smells crazy. And the sauce, let's see what it do. We know that's already been simmering. Look, it's got a little bubbly action going on. Let's put this lid over here. This sauce is ready. Tasted it. We got the herbal thing working, right? Got the herbal thing working out. Crank that down. And what we're going to do is we're going to work our way over to the sink here. Why? Because we need to dump the water out the pasta bowl. All right, we're over here. We got the pasta. Looks like it's got plenty of water in it. Show them where we at. Yep. So the pasta is looking, it's got the steam coming off of it, right? Soft. Let's pour the water out a little slowly because it is hot. And noodles go in, right? Pot back down. And when we lift up, because it's a colander, water comes out. Yep. Look at that there. Pasta noodles, baby. Shake that off. Dump the water. Now we have a dry bottom, shallow enough where if there's any extra water, that'll come off. Toss them up with this here. And if you remember, we had a plate sitting nearby. So scoop up, shake in case we have any hidden water, right? How hungry you are will determine how many you put in there. Technically, you don't want to go beyond this amount here. But I will, because calorie count's a little low. Bam. With the steam coming off of it. Next, we're going to put the sauce. Plenty of the chunky stuff on top of the sauce. Yep. Some of that broccoli, right? So you want to have a little body to the sauce. And move. Here we are, getting close to the finished product. We pat a little dry. Right? And then it's up to you, but put a little bit of that there. Breaking it down to smaller stems. Let's get it correct. A little green garnish in there for you. Right? I'm being a little picky right here. So, what do we have here? Ourselves finished product. Looks great. I'm going to definitely enjoy it. Hope you guys enjoyed spending time with me for the cooking action. There is your finished vegan pasta dish. So prepare to enjoy. Grab your spoon, fork. I don't really care what you grab. Just make sure you enjoy